Hello and welcome to the Ancient Book Review. Today's book, or series of Upanishads in this particular instance, is the Kaushitaki Upanishads, or Upanishads. It is the one of the basic Upanishads, which are the holy text of Hinduism. It's written in Sanskrit. It's very, very old. It's got a lot. It has 4 different Upanishads in it. So it's a collection of Upanishads. So let's get into the review. So it's basically the tale of one guy, more or less, and his conversations, kind of written like Plato's discourses. In fact, you'll find a lot of similarities and parallels with Platonist philosophy. For instance, we'll go on. Now, it's stated to be unbiased knowledge, right? It's stated to be they're seeking the truth. They're seeking knowledge, right? But really, it's just Hindu dogma, more or less, or what they believe to be the truth, I suppose. To meet Brahman is everything. And if you know anything about Hinduism, Brahman is it has a couple different definitions, but one of the main definitions is Brahman is God, or the supreme God. So he's the god over all the other gods. It's a polytheistic religion. So it's written like a story, right? And one part of it, it talks about how the body parts are metaphors for parts of life. The legs, the eyes, the ears, right? These are all metaphors, and they talk about how this is a metaphor for this, that, the other. And knowledge of things is power over these things. So if you have knowledge over the tongue, then you have knowledge over speech and all these sorts of things. This is a review, so it's not very good or informative without an explanation or interpretation. So I am not a Hindu scholar. I am not a Hindu theologian. I do know basics of Hindu beliefs more than your average person. I know about Hinduism and whatnot, but I'm certainly not a Hindu scholar. So I'm certain there are many, many things that I'm not picking up on. So this is my review as a third party, someone who is not a Hindu, who is not grown up with these sorts of worldviews or explanations, and my just taking a look at the text review of it. It's not very long. I don't find it very good or a very good source of knowledge. But we'll continue a little bit. So let's talk about the prana and how it moves and these deities. So the prana is to experience everything. It talks about the senses, which kind of relate to Plato's forms. So as we're talking about, like, for instance, knowledge of the eyes. Right? There's one perfect eyes in Plato's forms, and there's one perfect eyes in Hinduism or in these Upanishads, and how they are, if you know them, then you know all of them, and everything related to seeing and everything. And another part, on the 4th Upanishad, talks about you are what you worship. Right, so they say, well, I meditate on the thunder. Therefore, I have knowledge of all the sound in the world. I meditate on, the waters. Therefore, I have knowledge of this, that, the other. So it's ancient Hindu text about what you'd expect. Personally, I find the Bible better, but that might just be my opinion. You can take that as you will. But it's a little hard to understand. especially if you don't have an explanation of it. I'm just taking it at face value. Didn't particularly like it. So, if you're interested in Hinduism or ancient Indian culture or even modern Indian culture or history or something of that nature, then yeah, it will definitely give you a little insight into that. So if you're a historian or maybe you're Indian and you're trying to take a look at your ancestry or whatnot, what culture, belief, then possibly read it. It's not very long. So that is my review of the Kaushitaki Upanishads. I'm not very good at Sanskrit. So that is that.